We found a Lotus. Let's see if we find the other components to just kill him with an Emrakul. That is the faster line. We did. Okay, cool. Now, I could show you the Children of Corliss loop, and some people are more interested in that, but out of respect for my opponent, we can just kill him now. And I don't like to slow roll. I'm not about the slow rolls. So, Dark Ritual. It's also about showing your opponent fewer cards. Tendrilzing shows the opponent more about our deck. This is kind of more clean cut. So here you just entomb Emrakul. Where are you? Ah. With the trigger on the stack, you can either Gorios or Shallow. If you want to show less information, if your hand has a Shallow, you Shallow. You know, use whatever reanimate spell you've already used. This is fine though, we'll go with the Gorios. So cast, target is Emrakul. He'll shuffle. Go to combat. Lethal. Now, this is the kind of opponent that I would expect to jam something like, you know, ley lines or surgicals. So this is definitely a matchup where we can swap over to Doomsday and have nothing to do with the graveyard. I definitely would imagine he has a sizable amount of sideboard slots dedicated to combating what we just did. You know, Pithing Needle's going to come in for Grizzle. Maybe Leyline. Surgical, we can't really do much about. You kind of just have to take it out of their hand because it does mess up the Doomsday pile, unfortunately. Anyway, let me show you the Doomsday sideboard. It's really sweet. Doomsday, of course, is an excellent Magic card that's, I think, criminally underplayed. I'm also going to bring in a Needle of my own. I think it's criminally underplayed. Criminally underplayed. So basically, you just shave the Grizzlebrand, Tinfin's Reanimator portion of the deck. So that means cutting the Entombs as well. And look at that, it's, voila, a 60. I can curve things for you so you can kind of see what's going on. The win conditions, of course, are Emmy, Shellick, Emmy, and Tendrils. You got your Lion's Eye Diamonds coming in. Dark Confidants coming in. So your card draw package looks something like this. Permission Breakers looks like... This is also technically in the card draw pile. Looks something like that. So you kind of see how this works, and of course the Doomsday is the Doomsday is what leads to this. So I actually make the piles like this. Oops, when we go over to Doomsday mode, does this make sense? When I do the transformable sideboard. Tyler says, "Where's Lab Maniac?" Don't need him. Lab Maniac's better in the vintage versions of Doomsday than I would say he is in the Legacy version. And that's just because there's a lot more removal for Lab Maniac being played in Legacy than there is in Vintage. In Vintage, a lot of the times, a lot of the matchups, or enough of the matchups, there's no removal for the Lab ban. So, if you want to see me play Lab Maniac, we'd have to jam Vintage, Tyler. Yeah, if you want to see me play Lab Man, we'd have to play Vintage. It's better in Legacy just to be about Shelllock, Emmy, or Tendrils. Those are your two avenues to victory. Yeah, it's just a metagame choice. I'm not saying that Lab Man isn't sweet with Doomsday. You can totally do that build. I just don't do it. This hand's just a bunch of mana, but it's got a Bob. It could be okay. He did mulligan to 6, so that makes me think that he's trying to keep a hand that has some graveyard interaction. This hand does not care about the graveyard. I'm just going to go turn 1 Bob, probably. Turn 1 Shaman. Duress. Sure, man, you can have a Dark Ritual. He's going to take Probe, probably. I mean, I still really like accelerating out the Dark Confidant. I really wanted to show him that we drew Petal. You can make an argument that the Ritual's nicer, but I'd rather he don't know what I'd rather he doesn't know what I'm working with. Now, again, you know, with him aggressively duressing us, maybe you're supposed to just play the Petal out, but I'm going to hold cards here. Sure. We don't care about Cage in the slightest. It does nothing in the matchup. Well, I mean, it does something in the game one, but it does nothing now that we've boarded into Doomsday. Yeah, look at that. Would you look at that? Nice. Now, something else that's nice about Bob in this matchup, once you sideboard and the opponent takes out removal that they might have main deck for Dark Confidant, is now. Let me take a peek. Double Hex Mage? Sure, man. Another Bob. It's not the greatest. So we can Doomsday next turn. That's actually pretty hilarious, Ty. Yeah, I mean, Humility does indeed stop the, Okay, there's the Hex Mage. It's okay that we can't get in with the Bob anymore. It's really okay. Yeah, I think you just slammed the Doomsday here. I don't see where it could go wrong. You want to be careful that you don't deck out with the Confidant, though. A lot of the times, a lot of the Doomsday piles I make involve therapy, so you can, pitch the Confidant. Alright, no blocks. But that's to be expected. I mean, I have ways to get rid of the Bob, and we can make the pile in such a way that it doesn't really hurt us too much. So let's grab another Underground Sea. Pedal. The sooner you do this, the better. I mean, like, every turn you're taking damage, Doomsday, of course, has pretty diminishing returns. It's a pretty ballsy card, but it is an excellent tutor. Alright, so we'll Doomsday here. Second Underground Sea is to play around, like him topping a Wasteland. You do need a blue source for this to work. So, this isn't going for the Tendrils kill, this is the Emmy kill. So we need to stack this perfectly, but I think it's Emmy, Sheldock, Needle, there's my Needle, Therapy. For the Dark Confidant, we do need to sacrifice it before you deck out. We do have another Doomsday in hand. So another thing you could do is just put like a black source in the deck if you feel like you need to cast the second Doomsday. And on Magic Online, I try not to pick any of the cards in the graveyard because it does show that to your opponent for some godforsaken reason. Well. Anyway. The fifth card could be Chain of Vapor. It could be maybe another piece of hand hate. Could be a Dark Writ. Could be a land. It's not too important. Sometimes you throw Tendrils in there, but we don't have enough mana to really merit Tendrils here. So I think it's definitely those four, and then you could stick in like a black source or what have you. Actually, I think I'm gonna go with Chain of Vapor. I think I'm gonna go with Chain. Yeah. Okay, so now we need to sequence this, of course, the proper sequence. Emmy needs to be the third card or below. Obviously, it makes sense to hit Needle with Bob. That means taking less damage. Again, if the way you want to get rid of the Bob is you want to do it, do you want to do it through the therapy? You have options. We could do it through the therapy for sure. Let's see. I think the bottom card is Chain, followed by Needle. I mean, Bob does make the pile slightly more complex. Then it's Emmy. And you do get to reorder it with the shell dock. Nightbug says you can't therapy with Cage and play. Okay, well then it's going to need to be... Well, the nice thing about the combo Nightbug is you can reorder it. We can... We could do the chain instead for the Bob. I think we might still be okay, though. Because we have a Doomsday to... Well, no, this is a blue source, though. It's just you don't want to deck out with the Bob. You want to make sure you don't deck out. Yeah, actually it was chain then. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about the flashback implications. Well, we'll see if we deck out. Let me think about it. So, draw 2. Shelldock the Emmy. Draw 2. Hit him. I think we're still fine. Ben says, I thought Needle hit activated. What triggered ability am I trying to hit? What are you talking about? No, I want Needle for Wasteland, Ben, because we saw Wastes. Right, here's the second Hex Mage. So what's the worst case scenario card? Surgical he would have already played. Maybe Crop Rotation for Caracas. I would blind name something like Crop Rotation. We don't have any information. I'm going to say Crop Rotation. Is an Expedition map? Okay. Alright, so Shelldock into Emmy. I think since he's at 14, we're still good to go here, because we only have to swing once. We might not be, though. I'm thinking about it. Because this is going to leave just 2 cards left. Bob will draw both. We play Emmy, and then we have to take an extra turn. I think we are just screwed. Yeah, we may not be able to do the attack before, because we're taking an extra turn. I mean, it's not like Emmy has haste or anything. We do have to take an extra turn that does involve drawing here. I think it should have been chained to bounce Bob. I wasn't thinking about the implications of the cage. Unfortunately. That's a sad way to lose. Alright, bottom. Yeah, I don't know. Pass it back. You don't think so? Because draw an extra card? Yeah, I think we're just... Yeah, I'll see you, Tyler. Yeah, I mean, the guys... there's still 2 people playing. Dark Prophet and Trigon Jeffrey. One of them likely some sort of control, probably. Right, map. Oh, he's just got the Merit Lage. Okay. That's a pretty good top deck. I think we're going to game 3 against this guy. Unicorn says therapy him to kill Bob. We can't. Grafdigger's Cage. Can't you just block if you don't want Bob? Says run for 4. I don't think he's going to attack with the Hex Mages. Oh, whew, he attacked. Thank God. But please block. Yeah, there's a cage in play, so I can't... I wasn't thinking about it, because therapy is usually my go-to card for getting rid of the Dark Confidant once it's served its purpose. Are we still decking out, even with Bob dead? Let me think about it. No, we're not. We're gonna have 1 card. Well, wait. The problem is he has end step Merit Lage now, so it doesn't even matter. Like the Dark Depths off the top was just gross. Like, yeah, I mean we're just toast here. Unless he's F6'd. Oh, wait, no, we get the extra... duh. This is why Emrakul is great. We get an extra turn. I'm sorry, guys. I am exhausted. I sometimes I forget why I play the deck. We get the extra turn. It's Time Walk, guys. Think about it. It's Time Walk. Yeah, Annihilator will kill it, but how many permanents does he have, Joe?